Three.
Happy New Year, Miss Anderson.
Happy New Year, Dr.
Wow. 2018.
Oh yeah, it's here.
It's here. Yes, yes, yes. And Miss Anderson, this is our pre-conference, okay? And it won't take long. We just have a few questions to ask you. But for an icebreaker, I'm going to ask you, how long have you been teaching?
All right, this is my second year teaching.
Second.
Yes, I'm a baby.
Yes. You won't be for long, though. All right, and you currently teach kindergarten.
Correct.
Well, what grade did you teach prior to kindergarten?
Well, last year I taught first grade.
You taught first grade. Okay. Now, did you teach first grade at this school?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Sounds good. Okay. Now, Miss Anderson, the first question: What is what is important for me to know about your class prior to the observation?
I have 3 students whose names I'm going to call probably very frequently during my observation. They love to input their thoughts into conversations, and they talk to their peers, and they don't raise their hand to speak.
Okay.
They're not bad students.
Uh-huh.
They just get really excited. So
Okay.
you're going to hear me call their names a lot.
Now, may I ask you what gender might they be? Boys, girls?
2 girls and a boy.
Okay. 2 girls.
2 girls and a boy.
Okay, all righty. So it seems like the little girls like to talk a bit more than the boys, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Now, they like to talk. Do they like to wiggle or anything?
They
Squirm?
are very wiggly.
Okay.
They are 5, so I don't expect them to stay super still.
Absolutely.
But they do. They play with their fingers and their jackets and each other's hair and their shoestrings. So
Okay.
sometimes I gotta get them back, reel them back in.
Okay, kind of typical behavior there.
Yeah.
Okay, for 5-year-olds. Okay, another question, Miss Anderson. What lesson do you want me to observe during this observation?
Definitely whole group reading.
Okay.
That's when I do my read alouds and we go over letter sounds and
Okay.
blending sounds to make words and segmenting and all that good stuff.
Okay.
My favorite part of the day.
All righty. Favorite part of the day.
Yes.
Okay. And you said whole group reading. Is that correct?
So they'll be on the carpet.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Anderson. All right. Now, Miss Anderson, is this a skill or a concept that your students are familiar with? Explain, please.
Yes and no. So the routine is the same every day. We typically do the same thing every day. But sometimes it's a review, and then sometimes it's something new. So we haven't covered all the sounds in the alphabet yet. So some days we review sounds, and then some days they learn a new sound. So it just kind of depends on the day.
All righty. All righty. Now, I've noticed that you have quite a few ELL students in your class. Now, let me ask you, what strategies will you use during this lesson in your attempt to teach or reach all of your students? In other words, differentiate instruction.
So reading aloud is my absolute favorite thing to do.
Okay.
Because I turn into a one-woman show. I am an actress, and so I use a lot of gestures, a lot of body movements to bridge that gap of understanding. I also utilize the pictures that are in the story. So if I'm reading a sentence about a purple teapot and there's a picture of that purple teapot, I would point to it so that they can put my words with the picture.
Okay.
I also call on my English language learner students quite a bit throughout my reading, just to be sure that they're understanding what's going on, because a lot of times they have all that knowledge in there and they don't know how to verbalize it, so they don't know. I don't know what they know sometimes. So I find it very important to ask those little probing questions throughout, just to make sure that they're still following along.
Excellent. So it seems as if what you've shared with me will be helpful to not only your ELL learners, but also your Gen Ed students, your regular ed students as
Definitely.
well.
Definitely.
Yes, because they can always use the gestures and the pictures, you know, and you know the.
And they think it's funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. If they think it's funny, you're really gonna engage them and
Right.
hold their attention,
Right,
and they will
right.
definitely focus on learning. Okay, really good. Okay, now Miss Anderson, let me ask you another question here. Is there anything else you would like to share with me about this wonderful kindergarten class of yours?
They're just the greatest. They are. There's 20 of them,
Oh.
and they are just the sweetest bunch of kids. Like they come in every day excited for the day. They never come in like dragging, like, oh, I don't want to be here. They're always, for the most part, they run to me.
Oh,
Some of them
awesome.
almost knock me down.
Awesome.
They're so sweet, and they, they have their little ways, but we all do because they're little people.
Absolutely.
But they are the greatest, and I just love them. I love them.
So, Miss Anderson, now with all of that you've told me about this wonderful class, I just, would I be right to assume that you enjoy what you do?
Oh, you'll be absolutely correct.
Is that an understatement?
Yes, it is. They are the best part of what I do.
So, Miss Anderson, I think one last question.
Okay.
You know, I keep coming up with these questions. You said you have 20 students total?
I do.
Okay. And how many EL students do you have?
I have 6.
You have 6. Okay. And a total of 20. Okay. And 6 ELs. Okay, Miss Anderson, I think this will end our pre-conference interview.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions for me?
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
So I anticipate you will have some.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Miss Anderson.
you so
And
much.
again, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Miss Anderson.
Thank you.